almost all the time. It's kind of like in how often you talk to your enterprise customers. We were a partner company from the very beginning. It is who we are. The same thing with talking customers. And so it's rare that a day goes by that I don't talk to a partner on it. And when we look at key opportunities, they're often partner-led or sister-led and partners enabled within it. One of the things we do is our whole leadership team, for example, just to give you an idea how deeply committed. Most all of us are here all during the conference, not come and give a presentation and leave. And each of us takes small groups of partners and sit and get interactions. And then it's common where I want to be careful because don't generate too much demand for me on this, I won't be able to deliver it. But with partners, small or big, I'll go into Miami for them virtually with telepresence and deal with their interface to their customers, or collaboration groups together with partners, etc. So it is an integral part of our DNA. It's just who we are. Please.
Hi, John. My name is Maxine Chung. I'm with CP and Computer Dealings in Canada.
Yes.
I just thought I'd have a one-on-one briefing, and excuse me if I mispronounce his name, Carl Molina.
Yes.
He mentioned you guys are currently working on a services channel program for your partners.
Yes.
That's going to be rolled out within the next year and a half. I wanted to know why you guys are creating this program, and also if you can speak to some of the investments and type of support that you put behind this.
If you really think about services, much of what we've talked about today require a huge service component part to make the architecture work, both technology and business together. And it's even becoming, in many instances, both services-led sales and services-led implementations. We're going to have a thin layer of services. And where we put services is exactly what my customers told us. I didn't want to do it originally because I said I want my partners to do that. The customer said, first, if I'm going to standardize on you, I will only do it if you provide services, as we alluded to earlier. And secondly, it will actually generate more services for your partners as well. And they were right. That's exactly what happened in each of the accounts we put it into in terms of customer satisfaction, growth, etc. within it. As we go through and just think about the last 3 or 4 questions you've had, the services in each of those elements are different, depending on the size of the partner, depending on are they playing for one siloed area or are they playing architecturally across the board. So one of the things we've got to do together is to develop that talent. You will begin to see a certified talent based upon the skill sets, etc., which means the customers will know what levels of skills they're interfacing to, as well as our own salespeople will know who's got the backgrounds in this area to bring it into it. And it's an evolving process. And the reason you can't just say it's done is because what we just talked about today is moving with tremendous speed. And a year ago, many people in this room probably would have challenged us of saying, would it even work? And now it's working, and we've got to keep up with our partner programs, our services, implementation of that as well.
So in terms of the investment you guys are putting into it, I'm assuming there will be training and webinars and tools.
What's exciting, and this might sound, I didn't do it earlier to you, but almost no company in the world does it. First is we are organized, not in a command and control or even matrix approach. It's a constantly moving dynamic organization structure. And when you budget, you've got to budget across all aspects at the same time. Where before I might budget a BU for something that Padma says, hey John, I think this is going to work. Let's have Tony develop it. And if you build something to work, or get some salespeople on it, then we think about services, and then we think about partners. We now budget and apply them all at one time. So this is why, again, it requires a different organization structure, different models, etc., which services within partners is just one of probably 20 major budget areas you address at the same level. Will we be putting more focus on this? Absolutely, but it's one of many things we'll do as we move into each of these markets. And each of the markets will be funded differently based upon where they are across the chasm, the size, our competitive differentiation, etc. That's why this model is almost extremely difficult to follow, especially in a short time period. I mean, just the acquisition part of the engine is very difficult, where most 90%, as I said earlier, of acquisitions fail. The ability to combine that with partners, the ability to combine it across geographies, etc., without this different organization model and a culture that accepts it and a reward system that's tied to it, and changing leaders who couldn't adjust to it, that's going to be hard for our peers to keep up.
And that's partly driven by the architectural play as well. If you think about the architecture, services is a key element.
We're going to do just a couple